Welcome to another edition of Talk City Greensboro, produced by GTN, featuring interviews and events happening around town. It's an easy way to stay in the know while you're on the go. Subscribe to Talk City on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, or SoundCloud so you can keep up with what's going on in Greensboro City government. I'm your host, Josh Johnson, and with me today, as always, around the big round table, Rosemary Plyven.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Glad to have you.
2023. I'm still practicing that. I'm not there yet, but I'm working on it.
Good.
I wrote it for the first time today, in fact. Okay, well, Action Greensboro is looking for local minority and or women-owned businesses open to hosting a Campus Greensboro Fellow this coming summer in 2023.
Fantastic.
Yeah. This is thanks to a grant designed to help our talented young people who are in school here in Greensboro really hone their professional skills and maybe love it so much that they stay here and become part of our economy. We love that. Cecelia Thompson is Executive Director of Action Greensboro. Bramley Crisco is Director of Talent Development. Hello and welcome.
Hi, glad to be here.
We're glad you're here. All right, Cecelia, let me start with you. Tell us about Action Greensboro and Campus Greensboro and kind of what this is in this partnership.
So Action Greensboro is focused on talent development here in the city. And what that means is how do we nurture college students, or 50,000 college students that live and work here in Greensboro, and how do we make sure that they're understanding what life could look like post-graduation? And that could look like what their career is, but also what their life is. And so we do that in a number of ways through the Campus Greensboro program, which was launched about 8 years ago, recognizing there was sort of a gap there in terms of students understanding what life could be. And so over the last 8 years, we've engaged employers from all over Guilford County to connect their internships to a fellows program during the summer. And what that does is connect college students not only to a paid internship, which is really important, as we all know, but it also connects them to each other in a cohort. So we'll have a cohort about 75 to 80 students, hopefully this summer, or maybe more, Bramley. And those students will, throughout the 10 weeks of the summer, experience Greensboro as a young professional. They'll have a mentor, a community leader mentor. They will experience the city, go out to our Great Lakes, at Lake Brant. They'll go to Gillespie Park. They'll do professional development also at the end so they can see their lives here and they can make that transition to other programs at Action Greensboro like our Synergy Young Professionals group. And so we're really focused on attracting talent here. We're focused on developing talent and making sure that talent knows that Greensboro is a great place for them to launch their careers and continue their life here in the city.
And of course, all this is great for our businesses too, who need young, talented people to come work for them.
Yes, even more today than 8 years ago. When we were talking to CEOs about developing this program, they were eager for talent, particularly our college talent. But now we see, in the face of disruption, I know there's a lot of words in 2023 we're not supposed to use anymore, like what's future, or like, I don't know, post-COVID words or things. But now in this new post-pandemic era, hopefully, we're really eager for talent more than ever. And so we're glad to have Bramley on our team figuring this all out.
Okay, so we're talking about this fellows program that is really specifically for minority and or women-owned businesses. So it started with a grant. Can you tell us about that?
Sure. So this program is sort of an addition or an expansion to work we were already doing with those 7 cohorts of college students. And one of the things that we found is that we're really lucky here in Greensboro that we talked about the 50,000 college students that come here and study here every year. They are a super diverse group of people, diverse in all sorts of ways, whether it's geography or, social background or race, you name it, but really widely diverse in their profile. And so we were thinking, how do we encourage more involvement with businesses that reflect that diversity? We, of course, have a lot, big businesses, small business, and have a lot of that already. But we also have a really large population of minority and women-owned businesses in our area, which is such an important asset of our community. And so we thought, let's get to work and write some grants. And how do we help these MWBE organizations host students who then are reflected in the businesses where they work? So, if I'm a woman and I'm studying at one of our 7 universities, can I go work for a women-owned business and see what that looks like? And so we were fortunate enough to get those grants and put it to work last year, and we're still doing it this year, and we're really, really looking forward to it.
I think I need to add a bragging moment. This was a national award, and we won the top winner.
That's amazing.
And yes. So talk about that.
So we wrote and we're the national winner for the Global Business Coalition for Education. They did a brand new grant program for folks across the United States. looking to better serve traditionally or historically underrepresented students. And so we wrote for that program, and we were the national winner and came out of that with a $100,000 grant that allows us to fund, a lot of the programming that we're going to do in this area.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Thank you. Yes, yes.
Thank
I mean, and we're so happy
awesome.
because it's all coming into our community and supporting
Yes.
our young people and our businesses.
Yeah.
So how many businesses would you like to have on board, and what would be their commitment?
Sure. So this year we're looking to have 15 participants in the program, business participants in the program. And the way the program works is the business will submit an application and describe what their internship would look like, what the duties for the summer would be, what the involvement of the student would look like across the program. And then they also agree that their student will be enrolled in our Fellows program, which is what Cecelia was talking about. And once they submit that application, we'll take a look at it. We can provide dollars for them to pay their interns. So they have a matching stipend that they agree to, and we'll provide the initial dollars. They match those dollars so that it's a competitively paid internship for that student. Nice. And then the students, get to work there all summer and have, again, that experience that could be reflective of their own background or of something they want to learn more about.
And you said you had a lot of success with this last year. Can you tell us about that?
We did. It was one of those things where, we were, of course, thrilled to win the grant. And then we were like, we got to get to work.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So we had our first 7 students come into the program. I had mentioned this in a conversation earlier, just that we had one student who her internship was extended past the summers, and she was able to do it throughout her school year. We had another student who was hired directly by her internship organization.
Fantastic.
So again, sort of creating that stickiness of, here are these really cool jobs, here are these really amazing organizations that are located right here in Greensboro, and here's a place where you can find yourself reflected in our business community and creating that sort of partnership.
I love that.
Yeah. Oh, is it me?
Yeah, it's you.
What do you hope our local students will get out of these internships?
Well, I can tell you, I'm not going to hope on this because having been involved with our programs, it is not hope. It is an absolute guarantee.
It's a guarantee.
But our Fellows program, and we ask our students at the end, how in the beginning and the end, how likely are you to stay in Greensboro, and what do you think you want to get out of it?
Yeah.
And we have such positive feedback and a real change in their thoughts about, this is what it means to work in Greensboro, and this is what it means to have a professional network, and can I live here long term? We see a real change in that. And then also just in their professional development, the opportunity to develop leadership skills, to do something you may never have done before, like kayak or something, like that.
Absolutely.
We have students who do that. So I would say, and this is personal opinion, but I'll put my own personal opinion and lots of other things behind it, that students who come into the program find a huge benefit. And I think their thinking is changed by participating for sure.
Let's talk about how to apply, both for businesses first, because that's what we got to get on board first, and then later for students.
Yes, so it's all really easy. All of the application portals are on our Campus Greensboro website, so they can take a look out there at campusgreensboro.org. And for students, the first pop-up block is want to become involved in our Fellows program, and you can just register there, and you'll start getting all the information about the internships, the job board, all of that will come right to them. And for our business partners, that application is out there as well. And so we are moving forward. The 11th of January is our next cutoff. Okay. So hopefully we'll get all of our applications before then, and then we'll notify those businesses later in the month.
And then as far as students, when are those deadlines, kind of just so they can kind of keep those in their head for those who are listening?
Those jobs will be posted as soon as we notify the participants, business participants, those jobs will be posted. And then as those interviews occur, so they will be coming up, by the end of January, those jobs will be posted. And those students will then start interviewing and having their resumes reviewed, and they can have their internship confirmed in the next couple months. And
how
obviously
cool would that
before,
be? Yeah, to know what you're doing this summer. Yeah, I think that's big.
That's right, to have it in place and be ready to go. So it's a really great program. The Fellows program as a whole, if folks don't know about it, I would encourage them to visit our website and learn more. We're always looking for partners, whether you're part of this MWBE program or not. All businesses in Greensboro can participate, and if they're even thinking about an internship and you haven't had one, we're here to help with that. And so I would just encourage everybody to get out there and take a look at the website or give us a call, and we're happy to help.
Great. So Campus Greensboro has been connecting students to local employers for a long time. So why is this important?
Well,
or did we just talk about that?
I think we did.
I think all of those things, but also, like we talked about last year and coming out of the pandemic, we hear a lot of conversation from our corporate partners, community partners, nonprofit partners about, transition in their roles and the number of folks they're having to hire or rehire. And so this idea of reaching talent when they're at a really a level where they're learning and taking it in a lot, and you're reaching them and showing how great your organization is and all the great things that you're doing, and having the ability to reach them and then stay in touch with them and then perhaps hire them and have them as a young professional. That whole spectrum is really important and a great way to introduce ourselves to those people who are coming into our community every year.
And we see former fellows, fellow alumni all over Greensboro, which brings us so much joy when we're downtown and we're going to lunch and we bump into somebody and be able to say hello. And oftentimes they may be having lunch with somebody that was in their fellows cohort. And so they're still continuing the relationships that they built professionally and personally through the program. We have former fellow alumni now on the Synergy Council, the leadership committee that runs our young professional organization. And then just this past year, this was the first time we had 8 fellows from prior classes be mentors to current fellows. And so we're really seeing, 8 years has allowed us some time to see that growth and to see the impact. And I just, that's the thing that makes us really excited when we can see people thriving in Greensboro in their careers and their lives and buying their first home through like the city's first time home buyer program. So they're learning about those things too. So it's a program that's making an impact, and it's a program that's being replicated across the nation. And people are looking at Greensboro not only for the MWBE program, but sort of how we're touching students in a high touch way that's making impactful ways for both the city and for them personally.
Love it. Thank you.
That's fantastic.
Thank you.
I want to give one quick shout out too, because I know we've talked about a lot about the students and the businesses, but the other thing I would share is that the universities that we have and colleges that are based here are really great partners to us. They are excited about the idea of introducing their students and the amazing talent that is on their campuses to Greensboro, and keeping that talent here and seeing what comes of it. So they're a really active part of what we do too. So it's the students and the universities and the faculty and all of those things come together to support our community. It's really it's fun work for sure.
Fantastic.
Every time we have these conversations, it just reminds me just how lucky we are to live in this. We live in a college town.
Yep.
We also live in a really philanthropic town and in a city where where our city and our leaders are really involved with making this a great place to work and to live. And I just feel like we're just lucky to be here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead.
You go. No,
I was just
your
going to
turn.
say thank you both for being here. It's been a great conversation.
It has. Thank you. Hey, if you want to participate or know a local business owner who should, check out campusgreensboro.org/2023 MWBE. Just go to campusgreensboro.org. You'll find it. That's a lot of letters to remember. And that's a great place. If you're a college student, if you love a college student, tell them to go there too.
Absolutely.
To get started on their journey. Internships will be placing people soon.
Yeah.
Love it.
Thanks again to both of you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Stay tuned in weekly by subscribing to Talk City Greensboro on iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play. And don't forget, you can download Talk City from SoundCloud.
That's our time for this week. Thanks so much for tuning in to Talk City. If you like what you hear, please share it with a friend. Be sure to watch GTN, your official source for news and information about the city of Greensboro. GTN is available on Spectrum Channel 13
AT&T Uverse Channel 99.
and North State Channel 31.
GTN also streams live on Roku and the city's website
At greensboro-nc.gov.